Hello, everyone. I said hello, everyone. Thank you. Well, welcome. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Kiana M. Davis, aka Q the Healer. But it's not for the reason that you think. See, even though my initials do have MD, the reason why I'm called a healer is because of these natural healing abilities I pretty much have my whole life. Now, I like to think of them as like superpowers, but it's my ability to empathize, influence, inspire others, but most importantly, to serve. See, these healing abilities have got me through, I would say, some of the really dark times, like rough times. And these are some dark times that we're living in, is it not? Because everywhere you look, left and right, especially in this year alone, you got people losing loved ones. I'm talking about grandmas, talking about moms, dads. But loss and grief doesn't just be limited to only people. See, grief and loss is also extended to just a way of life. You have people that have lost their jobs. People have lost their homes, even relationships. We've all been there. We've all suffered some sort of heartbreak, some sort of devastating loss that has changed who we are as people. See, that's a day that you never forget. I know for me, I've never forgotten the day that life as I knew it ended. See, because that day for me, that was the day that I lost my mother. See, this journey from that moment to this stage, it really happened like 6 years ago. It's been 6 years in the making. April 30th of 2014, as a matter of fact. I remember holding my dying grandmother's hand in mine as she took her last breaths. See, little did I know, though, when the coroner's office came to take her away, that only 3 short years later, my mother would be taken away as well. See, the parallels between those two moments were like night and day. See, my grandmother, we kind of expected it because she had been sick for some time. But mom, it was sudden. There were no warning signs. So just imagine how you would feel if at 11 o'clock at night, you get a knock on your door and it's the Troy Police Department telling you that the woman that you just spoke with the night before was gone. So I can only stand here and describe it to you as like kind of like a catalyst for change for me. See, because it was life changing. And it led me to this moment where I've just been inspired. Anyone will tell you that has lost a parent or somebody significant to your life, that when that person leaves this physical plane, they often take a piece of you with them. You lose your sense of self, your sense of purpose. And see, it wasn't just losing my mother and my grandmother in the manner that I did that really affected me. It was a series of losses that losing them kicked off. I mean, just a 6-month short time, I lost a job that I absolutely loved. I had to move. My relationship, which was already on rocky ground at the time, it crumbled. But on top of all that, I was sick as a dog for 2 weeks straight. But see, even going through all of that, in the midst of my grief, I knew just deep down that it was pushing me towards my purpose. See, because when that person leaves you, they don't completely leave you. Their spirit stays with you. Your loved one's spirit stays with you. And see, you ever heard the phrase? I'm sure I got some hip hop heads out in the audience, right? Biggie fans. It was all a dream. That specific phrase resonates with me. See, because it was in a dream that I actually received an inspiration. An inspiration that not only saved my life, but it's going to transform the lives of countless other people. Some people probably watching here right now. And that inspiration came in the form of a grief journal that I recently wrote. It's for people that have lost influential people to their lives, influential women in their lives. I call it I Remember Her. See, I Remember Her was like grief therapy for me. Pouring my grief onto the page, it transformed me. But see, it's not just about me, though. See, I knew instinctively deep down that coming to me in that form, it was a way for me to not only share my grief, but it's going to allow others to heal from their grief. And see, never more than now, right now, with all that we've had happen in 2020, and 2020 isn't over yet, but in the wake of all the grief and loss that we've had, healing your mind, body, and spirit has never been more important than now. It has never been more important than now to take your tragedy, your grief, and find a sense of purpose. See, I Remember Her has allowed me to find my purpose again. So I just have a challenge for each and every one of you. Any of you that have lost someone, any of you who are lost, like I was, I want you to, if you haven't asked yourself, ask yourself, why am I still here? See, because that person is gone, but you're still here. Ask yourself, what is my purpose? What kind of legacy am I going to leave behind, and what kind of impact am I going to have? See, for me, I Remember Her as part of my legacy. And I vividly remember growing up the conversations my mother would have with my brothers and I about finding your purpose and your legacy and family. So I'll have one last question, for all of you before I leave this stage. How many of you out there are going to join me and start your path to healing? Thank you.